Okay. Good evening, everyone. So today we are going to cover essays, the task two, and this class is both for academic as well as GT students. Um, so I want to cover everything from the beginning to the end. At any point, you can stop me and ask questions. I don't mind that. Um, but if I'm explaining the introduction, let me finish the body paragraphs and the conclusion before you ask questions for that part. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so first of all, I want to give you a basic idea of how an advantages and disadvantages quotient looks like for academic students. Also for GT, in GT there is a variation to the advantage disadvantage essay as well that I'll cover at the end. So let's first cover this variation. So this is a simple question in which they give you a topic, and then they ask a simple question whether the advantages are more or the disadvantages are more. क्या ज़्यादा है? Basically, what is more? Are the advantages more or the disadvantages of this situation more? For example, here the situation is that these days many people, when they leave the country to work abroad, they take their family with them. So earlier, what used to happen, people used to go alone, like fathers used to go alone, they used to work, send money back. But nowadays, many people, when they go abroad, they also take their family with them. So that's the topic. That's a situation that's happening. And now they're asking us whether the benefits of this are more than the drawbacks. So we'll be covering this today. Okay. And for me, let me give you a basic idea of how I attempt a advantage disadvantage essay. Firstly, I write three body paragraphs. One for the weaker side and two for the stronger side or the main side. What do I mean by weaker side and main side? The main side is basically if the advantages are more, I'm calling it the main side or the stronger side. And if the disadvantages are more, I'm calling that the main side. And the weaker side is whichever one is the less side. Um, I'll also be covering proper use of connectors because that is really important and that will make your essay impressive. And I'll cover that later. And I'll teach everything how to write the introduction, the body paragraphs, and the conclusion. Okay. So if I talk about how I start writing this essay, the first thing that all of you should do, and I also do, is brainstorming, basically thinking about the points for both the sides, the advantages as well as the disadvantages. So let's think about this side. Let me make it a bit more interactive. Can you tell me some advantages of this, like family members going alongside the person when they're going abroad? Like, what are the advantages? Anyone?
सर वो फैमिली के साथ रहने का समय मिल जाता है.
Yes. But can you develop it further? मतलब वो कैसे अच्छा है? अच्छा, होम सिकनेस में भी नहीं होती, मतलब बिकॉज यू आर गोइंग विद द फैमिली, सो
ये
होम सिकनेस नहीं होती. ठीक है, वी कैन राइट इट लाइक दैट. यस, व्हाट एल्स?
To keep the bond between the family more stronger.
Yeah, the same point. Yes, so it keeps the
Uh,
strong bond strong. Yes, right, Shakir. What else?
सर उनको फाइनेंशियली हेल्प मिलती है.
फाइनेंशियली हेल्प कैसे?
बिकॉज जो स्टूडेंट्स होते हैं वो सम टाइम उनके पास कोई स्किल्स नहीं होती. मोस्टली स्टूडेंट्स कोई भी अपनी कंट्री से स्किल नहीं लेके जाते. तो जब वो उनको अपनी यूनिवर्सिटीज फीस देनी पड़ती है, जब अपनी बेसिक नेसेसिटी फुलफिल करनी पड़ती है, तो उनको प्रॉब्लम्स का सामना करना पड़ता है. अगर उनके पेरेंट्स काम करेंगे वहां पे जाके, तो समवेयर की उनको बहुत बेनिफिट होएगा
So
उनकी.
I agree, but let me clarify the topic again. एक situation है जहाँ in which the father alone is going, like he's only going, like he's going to Canada, he's the only one going, and in the second case, he's taking his family with him. He's going to work there, but he's also taking his family. In both the case, the father is working, he's earning money. It's not like he's not earning money, he is. But in the first case, he's taking his family, he's not taking his family, and in this essay, they are saying that the family goes with the father. Like he's not only shifting alone, he's taking his whole family with him, like his wife and children. That's the topic. So, what do you think are the advantages of this? Like taking the whole family.
सर बच्चों को भी मौका मिल जाता है एडवांस एजुकेशन लेने का।
Yes, very good point. So, सबसे पहले बच्चों के लिए, yes, in foreign countries they get better education, better healthcare, all these things that might not be good in their own country. So, normally people move to developed countries only for work, right? Normally, in 90% of the cases, people are going to go from a developing to a developed country. So, they get better education, better healthcare. So, this is definitely true. What else? Any other advantage or disadvantage you can think of? You have to think about both.
सर अदर कल्चर को जानने का मौका मिल जाता है।
Very good. It makes people broad-minded. Children, especially, it makes them more adaptable because they learn to live in a new culture. So that's it, and they'll get to learn about their culture. So this is also a very strong point. Yes, definitely. Now let's think certainly about some disadvantages. What can you think about the disadvantages?
सर फाइनेंशियल बर्डन ज्यादा बढ़ जाता है।
Yes, you have to support your whole family. See, living expenses in a foreign country are higher. If a person alone is going, he can live in a small apartment or he can share the apartment with other people. If he's going with his family, he has to have a whole place. So financial burden, definitely. What else?
A counterpart of the former point, like culture, heritage, there is a chance to lose that culture and all.
Very good point. And maybe a difficulty adapting for children to a new culture. They might feel like out of place, or they might not be like they're learning like in their own country. They might feel out of place. They might have to face problems like discrimination and racism in a foreign country. They might lose their own culture. They might forget their mother like own culture. That is another point. Yes. And I would say one more point. I would say like, I was thinking about myself, and I was thinking like in India, like, parents have the support of grandparents in taking care of children. So I would definitely think that the burden on parents would increase. Like they have to do multiple things. And they don't have the family support in a foreign country. So that's another disadvantage I thought of. Anyways, I have not written down all the points that you mentioned, but I've written down quite a few points. First is improved living standard, which you said, because in a foreign country, the improved living standard, basically better education, healthcare, better lifestyle, modern lifestyle, they'll get to live, the family, and exposure to a new culture and broader perspective. You also mentioned a better bond between family members, so we can consider that as well. And the second, on the negative side, I said children may struggle to adapt to a new culture or language because they're children. It's difficult for them to adapt. And loss of extended family support. Like they might miss their grandparents, they might not have that support. So parents, the burden on the parents will be. So in the end, I thought the advantages are stronger. So I'm going to write 2 body paragraphs for the advantages and 1 paragraph for the disadvantages. This you have to do. And I'm telling you, you should spend 5 to 10 minutes on this. And I'm saying 5 to 10 minutes. And I don't think you understand that it's not a lot, because you are spending 40 minutes on the essay. You have to write about 250 to 300 words. Let's imagine you write 300 words. Even if you write 300 words in 30 minutes, you're just writing 10 words in a minute, which is completely possible if you have planned your essay. So trust me, plan your essay first. Do not be in a hurry. Do not pick up your pen. Now, in my class, I tell my students कि पहले 10 minute pen ही नहीं पकड़ना है. You are not going to. I don't allow them to like pick up their pen for the next first 10 minutes when they're writing an essay. You have to develop this habit like this. Just look at the question again and again and again. You will think of certain points. Make your brain do that. Don't start writing immediately. Okay. So we have done the most important part. Now let's come to the writing part.
सर एक क्वेश्चन है, हम ये भी बोल सकते हैं कि जब वो मतलब बच्चे अपनी फैमिली के साथ बाहर जाते हैं, जहाँ फादर के साथ जाते हैं, तो समवेयर वो सेल्फ इंडिपेंडेंट नहीं हो पाते?
अगर इंडिया में रह जाएंगे तो वो इंडिपेंडेंट हो जाएंगे. यस, मे बी. इफ इन इंडिया सी if in India no one is taking care of their ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स वगैरह भी ध्यान नहीं रह रहे, वो अकेले रह रहे थे, तो शायद वो इंडिपेंडेंट हो जाते. बट दे माइट नॉट बिकम इंडिपेंडेंट देयर. But again, the parents will be busy in their work. I don't think they'll be able to give them time even abroad if they go so much time. I agree with you. You can write that point, but it'll be difficult for you to write. Okay. Expand करना मुश्किल होगा.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Let's come to the structure. So let me tell you the structure that I follow for writing the advantage disadvantage essay. First, I write the introduction. Introduction, I do two things. The first thing that I do is I paraphrase the question. So I'm just going to copy the question and write it down, but in different words. I'm going to slightly change words and I'm going to show you how I did that also, how I do that also. The second thing is I'll write the opinion. Now, opinion would be whatever the question they're asking me. In this case, they're asking me, are the advantages more or are the disadvantages more? क्या ज़्यादा है? फायदे ज़्यादा हैं कि नुकसान ज़्यादा है? That's all that I'm going to write. One sentence, and I'm going to write that. But I'm going to write it using while and although, because they come off as impressive. These words make your writing more impressive. They are complex structures. Complex structures make your writing more impressive. So we are going to write this opinion using while and although. After writing, I first write the weaker side. The weaker side means in this essay would be the disadvantages. In other essays, it might be the advantages. Is essay mein, because disadvantages are less, I'm going with the advantages are more. So weaker side is the disadvantages. Then I elaborate 2 points for that. Two disadvantages are certainly right with the weaker side. One disadvantage and then another disadvantage. Two disadvantages with the weaker side. After that, I switch over to the main side. And then I use the connector despite, and I'm going to teach you the usage of this word as well later on. So first I use the despite connector, and then I'm going to write the points for the main side, which are my advantages. I write 2 body paragraphs here. Now there are 2 reasons why I write 2 body paragraphs here. First, I want to clarify to the examiner that this is my stronger side. If I'm writing 2 body paragraphs for this, it makes it clear. Plus, automatically, if I'm writing 2 body paragraphs, my points are going to be more. So that makes it more effective. So always I prefer to write a 3 body paragraph for this approach, for this essay. Some sites and some people also teach a 2 body paragraph approach, which is not wrong, but I prefer a 3 body paragraph approach because I prefer the essay in this way. I think it's easier and it's a stronger essay with the 3 body paragraphs. Finally, I write the conclusion. Conclusion, I do nothing, but I paraphrase my opinion again. And our opinion is the same thing. Advantages are more or disadvantages are more. I'm just going to repeat that thing, but again using while and although. That's it. So this is my structure for this essay. Pretty easy essay. Introduction, followed by the weaker side, 1 paragraph, then the main side, 2 paragraphs, and then finally the conclusion, like this. So overall 5 paragraphs, 1 introduction, 3 body paragraphs, and 1 conclusion. Okay. So I hope the structure is clear. Does anyone have any question? Anyone, any questions?
No, sir.
No? Okay. So now let's start with the language. Okay. While अब कैसे use करते हैं? Now I want to teach you. So while in Hindi or Punjabi means halanke, that's what I understand. It means halanke. So I write, although there are certain drawbacks or although there are drawbacks of topic, I believe the benefits are far more. So what I'm trying to say, हालांकि थोड़े बहुत नुकसान है, मुझे लगता है the benefits are far more. That's what I'm doing in Hindi. Now let me explain. Though there are certain drawbacks, I believe the benefits are far more. Why am I focusing on this part? Because a lot of you make mistakes here. First of all, you add a but here. So I want to tell you, although and but do the same job. Although is also a comparison word which shows a contrast. Okay, although there are drawbacks, the benefits are more. So it's also doing a contrast job, but also does a contrast job. So you cannot have both the words together in a single sentence. So you have to pick one. So we are going to use while and although because they make the sentence more impressive and they are less commonly used than but. Then when I start the weaker side, I write by writing admittedly. So when I'm talking about the first body paragraph, I'll show you the whole essay and that will give you more clarity. So when I start with the weaker side, I start like, admittedly, there are certain downsides of topic. And then I give the weak side arguments, like 1 or 2 points for the weak side. After that, I write the main side. For example, I'll write, despite these drawbacks, the topic is certainly beneficial. Whatever the thing is being happening, whatever is mentioned is certainly beneficial. So I say, बावजूद जो drawbacks हैं, मुझे लगता है ये चीज फायदेमंद है. So I'm giving my opinion clearly that the benefits are more. It's beneficial despite the drawbacks. उनके बावजूद मुझे beneficial लगता है. That means it is the positives are more. So I'm going to teach you again how to write this also, despite let it come later. Then I'm going to give 3 points for the 3 points for the main side using connectors like firstly, in addition, furthermore, which we'll cover later. And then I just repeat the conclusion. I end it with the conclusion. Okay. Now let me show you a model essay, and then we'll practice the while, although, despite statements and the conclusion and everything. Okay. So this is the topic. Right? These days, many people leave their country to work abroad and take the family. Do you think the advantages outweigh the disadvantages? So first, I paraphrase the topic very clear, very simply. I don't spend a lot of time paraphrasing because I don't think you can secure a lot of bans here. I normally write. If you can paraphrase well, very good. If you're not that good at paraphrasing, don't make a big deal out of it. Just write a simple statement. Even if you don't paraphrase a lot, it still works. Your bans are not going to decrease a lot. So it is true that nowadays many people take their family members along with them when they move abroad for work. That's what I've written. Very simple. Many people take their family members along with them. उनके साथ ले जाते हैं जब वो move abroad करते हैं for work. That's what I've written here.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, what are the important points that we have to keep in mind while we are writing the advantages and disadvantages essays to score high band scores, sir?
So the first thing is use although, while, the complex structures. I would say.
Okay, sir.
Second, your point should be strong. So the
Okay.
first, if your points are not strong, you're not going to write a good essay and you're not going to secure good bands, whatever happens. Thirdly, I would just say that nothing else. Easily you can score. What do you mean by high bands? For 7 and 7 plus, if you do this much, you'll get 7, 7.5, 8 bands.
Okay.
Beyond that, it depends upon your vocabulary and other things as well.
Oh,
now-
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So for now,
तो
I would
मेरा
say this is.
क्वेश्चन है कि मोस्टली कहते हैं कि है ना इंट्रोडक्शन लाइन लिखनी चाहिए जब बिफोर पैराफ्रेजिंग, ये ट्रू है?
Okay, so I'll answer this question. For those of you who can't understand Hindi, I'll just say she asked, they say that one more sentence, like a background statement, should be written before we paraphrase the question. So my answer to that is, I'm against it. लिखनी चाहिए, मैं तो totally against it, and I'll give you the reason for it. See, the point is, I would have written it if I would have written a 600 words essay. An IELTS essay is just 300 words, 250 to 300 words. That means if you're writing a line which is not contributing to your essay, you're wasting your valuable words. Don't waste your valuable words. Spend them in explaining your opinion. So अगर मैं हिंदी में बोलूँ तो मैं ये कहूँगा कि वो बिना बात का ऐसे को लंबा कर रहा है, उसके कोई पॉइंट्स नहीं है, उसके कोई मार्क्स नहीं है, क्योंकि ना तो वो पॉइंट्स हैं, ना वो तुम्हारे ऐसे को स्ट्रॉन्ग बना रहा है, वीक बना रहा है, उस ऐसे से कुछ भी नहीं हो रहा, वो ऐसे को कंट्रीब्यूट नहीं कर रहा. इट्स नॉट गेटिंग यू बैंस. उससे घट नहीं रहे. आई एम नॉट सेइंग इट डिक्रीजेस बैंस. वो लाइन का कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, पर मेरे ऐसे की लेंथ खराब हो जाती है, मेरी इंट्रोडक्शन लंबी हो जाती है. उसका मतलब मेरे को बॉडी पैराग्राफ और लंबा करना पड़ेगा, एंड आई हैव टू गो बियॉन्ड 300 वर्ड्स. मेरे को 300 वर्ड्स से ज़्यादा लिखना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि बॉडी पैराग्राफ्स हमेशा इंट्रोडक्शन से 2-2.5 गुना होने चाहिए. सो मेरे को ये लगता है कि वो लाइन लिख के हम अपना काम खराब करते हैं. हम क्या करते हैं, हम इंट्रोडक्शन को लंबा कर देते हैं, बॉडी पैराग्राफ उसके सामने छोटा लगता है, और वो बात बुरी लगती है, बिकॉज योर पॉइंट्स आर लेस. तो मैं अपने पॉइंट्स बताने, ऐसे में नंबर किस चीज के हैं, पॉइंट्स के हैं. आपके पॉइंट्स क्या कह रहे हैं, एडवांटेजेस क्या हैं, उसके नंबर है ना. ये पूछा ना एडवांटेजेस ज्यादा के डिसएडवांटेजेस. तो एक जनरल लाइन तुम्हारे को हेल्प नहीं कर रही है, इन सिंपल ओपिनियन.
थैंक यू सर.
ओके, सो
Sir, one small question.
yes.
Sir, which all the wherever we can start with this. It is, I think it is passive, na? It
It
is,
is true. This part?
yes, it is starting with it is, which
No,
all
it
essays
is
or
true
where,
is
or we can start with it is.
no, true is not a verb. So it is just a fact. I'm just saying it's a fact. It's if it was a verb, it would be passive. It is believed or something. It is true is neither passive nor active. It's just a general line. I'm just saying it is true that,
Okay.
okay, it's a fact that, okay. This part, nowadays many people take their family. This part is active, right? Many people take their family.
Yes.
Part is not like it's not a statement. There's no verb in this part. So this is not a sentence. Is it clear? The
Yes,
sentence
sir.
actually starts from here. Nowadays, many people take their family. Take is my
Sir, then we don't want to keep comma there.
where after that?
We need to put comma after that. Yes, sir.
No, there's no
No.
comma after that.
Okay.
Okay. You don't pause there. You speak in a flow. It is true that nowadays many people, you're not pausing long enough for a comma. Okay, let's move to the body paragraph 1. Here we are writing the weaker side. Now let me show you how I use this connector and how I write my points. First, I use the connector admittedly. Admittedly is for the weaker side. It's like giving a concession. It's like agreeing with the other person. Like when you're having a conversation with someone, and like for example, your two friends are fighting. One is saying like, India will win, and the other is saying India will lose. So the person who's saying India will win, he'll say to the other person, there are some problems with the Indian team. I agree that there are some problems with the Indian team, but it is still going to win. So when you are agreeing with the other person, you use this word, admittedly. You don't agree with him completely. Your main opinion is different, totally different, but you agree with certain points of his. You agree that there are certain drawbacks, but you say overall it is beneficial. Like in the long run, if I consider the overall picture, it is beneficial, but you admit that there are certain drawbacks. So admit is always used with the weaker side. Please remember this. The weaker side. The weaker side will be the lesser side, जो कम है चीज. अगर फायदे कम है तो उसके साथ. If the drawbacks are less, uske saath. If the disadvantages are less, write with the disadvantages. If the advantages are less, write with the advantages. So in this case, the drawbacks were less. So I wrote it here. Admittedly, there are some drawbacks when people take their families with them when moving abroad to work. So I repeated the topic here, and I give admittedly there are some drawbacks of this topic. Then I put a connector. I use a simple connector to begin with. Why do I use this? Because in this case, students don't make grammatical mistakes. If I use other connectors, right, I've seen the main argument is that sometimes they're not able to, right, combine it properly into a sentence. So to begin with, makes it simpler for students. They don't make grammatical mistakes when they use this connector. And then I just write my point. For example, in this case, my first point was children may struggle to adapt to a new culture and language, which can cause stress and affect their confidence in school. So I'm saying the students might have problems in their academics because they might have problems with the new culture and language. For example, if I went abroad when I was very young with my family, I didn't know English that well then. I might have had problems in school. I would not have understood my teachers. So my confidence would have been impacted. Also, the culture might have been different. Other people might be, doing different things, enjoying different sports. So I would not have been able to connect with them. So like that. Apart from this, families, the second point, I'm using this connector. Apart from this, I find this connector is very strong and not that common. So it will fetch you good. It creates a good impression again. Apart from this, families often lose the daily support of grandparents and relatives, which happens like I took the example of, again, I took my example. So my parents got a little bit help from my grandparents, like my maternal grandmother took care of my sister when she was younger. So families would often lose that support, forcing parents to manage childcare and household responsibilities on their own, which adds to burden on their head, right? So they're going to come back from work, take care of the families, so a lot of and household responsibility. So it can be quite burdensome for the parents. So that's my second point. So 2 points here. Then I'm moving on to the main side. Despite these benefits, the benefits I've mentioned above, I believe the benefits of living abroad are often more important. So benefits are more important, or they are more in another way. And then I'm going to give my benefits. I'm using connectors. Firstly, in the first paragraph of the benefits, or the main side, I give one strong point. So I'm going to write one strong point here. And in the second body paragraph of the main side, I write two more strong points. Two other points which are not as strong, but two more points. So first I wrote, firstly, moving overseas usually brings better job opportunities and financial security. With higher salaries, parents can provide a more comfortable lifestyle, improved housing, and access to better facilities, all of which directly support family well-being. So they're going to have better facilities, better housing, better, more comfortable lifestyle, because the parents are going to be earning more. So that's what I wrote here. In addition, children who grow up in a foreign country are exposed to new cultures, languages, and ways of thinking, making them more open-minded and adaptable. So second point is children become the point Amar mentioned, that they become exposed to a new culture. So they become more adaptable. Like, when you go to another country, you see how other people live. You become adaptable. You learn that we can live like that also. That's also fine. I'm not saying you live like that. I'm saying you learn like people, other ways of living are also okay. It's not my way of living that is the best way. Other ways are also fine. If they want to live it like this, that's fine. They're measures. So people become more open-minded and adaptable. And finally, families gain access to high quality education and yes.
Sir, I'm listening, sir.
Okay. Furthermore, families gain access to high quality education and healthcare, ensuring both immediate and long-term advantages for children's development. So better education and healthcare for children, right? What do children need? The two most important things for children are education and healthcare. That becomes more high quality. In foreign countries, it's better. You might get better healthcare, better vaccinations. Everything is like, in that sense, it's better, and also better high quality education. Definitely, like I noticed a difference when I went abroad to study. There is definitely a difference in quality of education in developed countries and developing countries. So that can be there. And conclusion, I just repeat my opinion. While moving abroad can create certain difficulties, I believe that the benefits clearly outweigh the disadvantages. So just repeating my opinion, nothing else. So that's the conclusion. It's a very simple essay. In fact, I believe it's the simplest essay out of all the essays. But you need to think before you write. If you don't do this part right, the brainstorming part, you are never going to be able to write a good essay. So develop that habit. You are not going to pick up the pen before you start writing. Like, give your mind 5 to 10 minutes to think about the points. Give your mind that time. Don't take away that precious time from your mind. Okay, moving forward.
सर कंक्लूजन में वो लाइन ऐड कर सकते हैं आई वुड लाइक टू read.
Yeah, I would like to reiterate could be written at the beginning. I would like to reiterate that while, so you're repeating your opinion, right? I do write that. Okay. So let me show you how, let's practice some questions, because practice makes perfect, right? So let's practice some questions, and I want you to practice the while, the despite statements, because they are the complex sentences which normally students are not able to write well. If you practice them and you perfect them, you can definitely score better bands. Okay, so now take another question. Taking another question, in some countries, schools arrange work for students without any payment so that students get experience. Have you seen this happening? It happens in colleges. In my college, they organized an internship for me. It didn't happen at school level, it happened at a college level for me. But schools do organize this, and without any payment. In my case, it was a very small payment. I used to get like 2,000 rupees per month, like very little, but that's fine. I used to get something. Okay, and then the question, again, the question, do the advantages of this trend outweigh the disadvantages? So first, I want to teach you paraphrasing. You should learn a little bit of paraphrasing if you can. So, like for example, some schools in certain countries provide unpaid work to students to help them gain experience. See, what I want to tell you is, I'm not using any complicated or high-end vocabulary. I'm just writing the same thing in different words. That's paraphrasing for me. Paraphrasing does not mean I want to bring in hi-fi words that nobody has, like no one has listened to before. That's not paraphrasing for me. It's just changing the structure. Some like paraphrasing is not making countries nations. That is not paraphrasing. Paraphrasing is just writing it in a different way. So, for example, I gave these three examples just to show that in certain countries, students are given work placements by schools without receiving payment, allowing them to acquire practical skills. So, experience is what? Practical skills. Why do I need to write the experience word? I can write they can get to teach them to acquire practical skills. Similarly, I knew this word internships. I would use that. Many schools arrange internships for students where they work for free with the goal of providing them with real world experience. So if you can paraphrase a little bit, it always creates a good impression. That means your command on English is good. That's what paraphrasing shows. So if you can do that, do that. If you can't do that, then also it's fine. Don't spend a lot of time on this. That's what I'm saying. If you're natural at it, it will happen automatically. If it's not happening, it's too difficult. Don't over focus on this. Okay. Then now let's practice the while and although statement because I'm going to make you use it twice. Once in the introduction, once in the conclusion. So how do I write it? So my main structure, it begins like this. While, or you can use although, any word interchangeably. Start with while or although. In fact, I would recommend in the introduction, you can use while. In the conclusion, you can use although. Whatever you wish, you can do that. So while there are certain drawbacks of students doing unpaid work arranged by schools. So what did I do here? First, I wrote while there are certain drawbacks of the less side. Always start with the less side. While there are certain drawbacks of, then you write the topic. In this case, you paraphrase the topic a little bit. Students doing unpaid work arranged by schools. Here, I want to tell you a basic mistake that students make. Students don't write doing, they write do. Don't make it do. This is your main verb are. This is not a verb. You have to make it. You have to make it the gerund form. Like you have to convert it. So students doing not the gerund form. My mistake. But this should be doing for that reason because this is not a verb. I'm saying there are certain drawbacks of this topic. I have to make it like a topic. It should not be a sentence. So students doing unpaid work arranged by schools topic. The advantages clearly outweigh the disadvantages, and then you write the opinion. Advantages clearly outweigh the disadvantages. Again, a little bit of like while there are certain drawbacks of school providing unpaid work experience to students, the advantages are far more significant than the drawbacks. The advantages are far more than the drawbacks, far more significant than the drawbacks. Another way of saying this, the advantages clearly outweigh the disadvantages. The advantages are far more significant than the drawbacks. Another way, the advantages certainly have an edge over the disadvantages. The advantages are certainly have an edge over means they are more, means they are longer, they're more, have an edge over the disadvantages. I'll share this file with you. Don't worry. You can learn this from there. And we are also going to practice it. Okay. So this part is just paraphrasing, and then you write your main opinion. The advantages are more, the advantages outweigh, or the advantages have an edge over the disadvantages. So these are the three ways I write it, and I'm teaching you. You can use once in the introduction, once in the conclusion. Second part that I want to teach you is the despite sentence. I write the despite sentence like this. Despite the drawbacks mentioned above. Remember, I'm using it with the main side. पहले weaker side लिखी हुई है. Yes, I've recorded the lecture. It's already recording, right? Okay. So despite the drawbacks mentioned above. So ऊपर जो drawbacks लिखे हुए हैं उसके बावजूद I believe students working for free. Again, you're going to write the topic. I believe the topic is certainly beneficial for them. So despite the drawbacks mentioned above, why am I writing this drawbacks mentioned above? Because the weaker side has already been mentioned before. So despite those drawbacks, I believe the topic is certainly beneficial. That's what I write here. Okay, and then I add some connectors and write the points. Again, while statement, while there are certain drawbacks of, again, the topic, the advantages, and you can pick any of the ones that I taught you here. the advantages outweigh, the advantages are far more significant, or the advantages certainly have an edge over the disadvantages. This part paraphrasing I'm already teaching you because you can remember this paraphrasing so that even if you have difficulty paraphrasing the introduction, the question, you know the paraphrasing of this part at least. So that's it. Now you are going to do it for the next task. If you have any questions, drawbacks used for what, sir? Drawbacks is another word for Rajesh, disadvantages. While there are certain disadvantages of topic, drawbacks is another word for disadvantages. Nothing else. Okay. So now let's do it. You are going to help me. So some people think it is better for children to begin to learn a foreign language at primary school than at secondary school. So the question is, students learning a foreign language better, it's better for them at primary school than at secondary school. So the advantages of this trend, the trend is that they're learning at primary school and not at secondary school. That's the trend that the question is mentioning. So we are firstly going to paraphrase the topic and then you're going to write. I'll do one for you. Can someone paraphrase for me? So write. In some countries you can write.
So can I try?
Yeah, try.
So it is believed by some.
Hmm.
Children.
That children.
I believe so. Yes, yes. Children can learn foreign language
Yes.
at primary school. Then at secondary school. I think secondary school called tertiary education.
No, tertiary is college.
College. Okay.
Secondary is 8th to 12th. Primary is
Okay.
1st to 8th or 1st to 5th, like whatever you want to consider. So it would not be tertiary. But there's no comparison word here. So children
Okay.
can learn a foreign language at primary school than at secondary school. This than I cannot
Okay.
understand because your sentence does not have a comparison word. For example, यहाँ पे एक comparison word था. क्या word था?
It is better.
You don't have it here. So we need to have something like that here.
It is beneficial for our children.
It is more beneficial. Comparison.
Okay.
Beneficial is again not comparison, so it is more
Okay.
beneficial. Very good. Okay. I agree with this. You're paraphrasing and it's done. Now,
Okay.
what is the next step we are going to do? Before actually,
Violin.
no,
Okay.
before that, file, yes, but before that,
Yes.
what are we actually going to do? We are going to brainstorm both the sides. So we are going to
Yes.
think about ideas about both the sides. So again, let's do it. So anyone, first tell me benefits. Now we are talking about the benefits of learning at primary school. Benefits of learning a foreign language at primary school. So anyone?
They have become more fluent in some languages
Why? Why don't they become that fluent when they learn it at secondary school?
because it become more experience
Okay.
for them.
Yeah, that's right. Can you think of I agree with your point and I would write it. Can you think of another reason though? Why? Or
So I think
you get more
school.
time with the language. I get it. But let's
Yes.
imagine they only learn for 2 years. Even if they start in primary school, they learn for 2 years. Even in secondary school, they learn for 2 years. Why else? Why is primary school better? What are the advantages?
सर
Chote.
क्योंकि सर
Sorry, repeat.
सर क्योंकि ना बच्चे मिस्टेक करते हैं ना तो फिर वो शर्माते नहीं है नहीं तो मतलब बड़ी क्लासों में तो वो
Good
शर्माते हैं
point. So she said there is less hesitation and fear of making
मिस्टेक
and fear of making mistakes at a younger age.
So they have much times in primary school and then the secondary school. Of
Okay.
course, in primary
We'll
school
write
they
that. Okay. So fear of making mistakes is less. So they learn better. So they pick up
इस टाइम ना बच्चों का माइंड फ्रेश होता है तो वो इजीली न्यू लैंग्वेजेस सीख सकते हैं.
Okay, so her point is, so brain, they're at young age,
Brain development stage.
brain picks up things faster. Do you agree? धीरे धीरे हम हमें नई चीजें सीखना मुश्किल होता है.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Brings up, picks up things faster. So what Suman mentioned is also pretty good. So there's less hesitation and fear of making mistakes is less. So they pick up things faster. Again, at a younger age, picks up faster because the brain is more receptive at that time. Our minds are more receptive. Young minds are more receptive. They can pick up things faster. Okay. And what her point, we can also, because if they learn, they'll have more experience and they will become more fluent. So what Sapna said, we can also consider that they become more fluent. Any other point you can think of? Any other advantage of learning at primary school?
Sir, actually, those who are at the primary level school now, they are beginners. At the
Yes.
time, they are interested to learn anything very effectively as compared to the secondary level.
Okay. So the brain is fresh. You're saying they have less burden. Somebody did mention they have less burden of other studies, so they have more time to learn.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Somebody
Sir,
said and also,
yeah,
yeah.
I mentioned that line, but
Yes, you
someone is speaking that's why.
Yeah, you said this point. Now they have less burden, so they have more time to learn. In secondary school, there are other subjects which require
Yes,
a
sir.
lot of time, like computer science,
Physics,
time,
chemistry.
history, geography. So there are other subjects which require a lot of time. So students are not able to give proper time to foreign languages when they grow older or in secondary school. So you have good points here. Now, can you tell me some drawbacks of learning a foreign language at primary school?
सर कभी कभी ऐसा हो सकता है कि बच्चा 2-3 लैंग्वेज सीख रहा है ना बचपन में तो वो मिक्स कर सकता है उसको.
Okay, so they are at that time they're also learning their mother tongue,
Yes, sir.
so they might mix up the two languages. Right? देखो secondary school में तो जरूरी नहीं है you're learning your mother tongue. You've already learned. Like for example, in 7th, 8th, I would have already learned Punjabi and Hindi. So when I'm learning English at that level, I won't confuse it with Punjabi and Hindi. But if you're learning all the three languages together, then you might mix up the languages and it might be more burdensome or more confusing. Any other point? Any other
Okay.
drawback of learning?
Yes, sir. Drawback of the learning of the foreign language at the primary level, they adjust the difficult to adjust new environment. It's very difficult challenge for
It's very difficult for them to adjust.
the beginner
Why is it difficult?
environment culture. It is.
Okay. Okay. But we have already written they pick up things faster, they have less burden. Then if we write that, then we'll be countering our previous points in a way. Okay. Any other thing you can think of? Any other thing? Drawbacks of learning at primary level. One more drawback we need more. One more drawback we need.
सर उसके पास टाइम कम रहेगा फिर खेलने के लिए.
तो वो तो सेकेंडरी स्कूल में भी कम रहेगा खेलने के लिए. That is not a drawback of primary school. Wherever they spend time, they will have less time for other activities. What else? So I would say by secondary school, it becomes easier for them to learn because, what do I say? How do I say this? Because they've already mastered their mother tongue. So like for you, I can teach through translation because you know your mother tongue. अगर मेरे को इंग्लिश का कोई वर्ड सिखाना है तो मैं उसकी पंजाबी की ट्रांसलेशन करके भी तुम्हें पढ़ा सकता हूँ. Like I can teach you using the translation in Punjabi and Hindi. But if you're too young, I would not have that opportunity because then you wouldn't know the Hindi word also. So मुझे वो हिंदी वाला word भी पहले सिखाना पड़ता कि ये जो हिंदी का word है, I would have had to tell you the meaning in the Hindi, and then I would have had to come to English. So by secondary school, this happens that they've already mastered their mother tongue, so it becomes easier for them in that sense. But I would think that it would be difficult for you to express this point. Just hold on, I've written one more point. Let me just pick that up that I was thinking. Okay. Okay. So okay. I don't think I have a strong point. So I would just say it becomes like difficult for students because थोड़े difficult concepts होते हैं languages में, and what can I write? Which one will be a good point? They can learn through translation as well. They can learn through translation as well. Just let's write it like that. Which might not be possible at a younger age because they have not mastered their mother tongue fully. So they have not learned their mother tongue fully, so they can't be taught through translation at a younger age. But they can be taught through translation when they're in secondary school. So that is a drawback. So they can't learn through translation at primary school. Okay. So anyways, now what's our opinion? Four advantages, two disadvantages. What are more? Which side is more?
Advantages.
Advantages are more.
So very good. So after you do this, you are clear. What's your opinion? So you come here and you're going to write your while statement. So will anyone write the while statement for me here?
While there are certain drawbacks
Very good.
Of learning.
Of what?
Of learning a foreign language.
language at primary school,
Very good. Very good. And you can also say at a younger age, at an early age. That also means what? Primary school, right? So
yes, sir.
paraphrasing of, okay. So what's your main completed?
Yes, sir.
नहीं,
Advantages.
I believe.
I believe the
Advantages are far more.
okay. Very good. So did anyone have a problem here? Or is it clear? Is the while statement clear? So this will be our complete introduction, the paraphrasing followed by the while statement, and our introduction is done. So while there are certain drawbacks of topics, I believe the advantages are far more. Yes.
So we can be add here before the I believe. However, I believe advantages are for more. We can add here.
Where?
I believe before I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you want to add?
However,
No, you cannot put a however because we are using while here. So while does the job of however. You cannot have two words like that. And however does not connect sentences. If I had to use however, I would have to use it like this. Firstly, I would have to remove my while. I would have to put it like this and then this. I don't want to make two sentences here. The however sentence is not a complex sentence. The while sentence is a complex sentence. It's always better to use a while sentence. So while there are certain drawbacks and then comma, you do not put a however or but here. It's redundant. उसका already काम कौन कर रहा है? While कर रहा है. So you're not putting any connector here. You're just putting a pause here. While there are certain drawbacks of learning a language at primary school, pause. You're staying. You're waiting for the examiner to let him grab what you said here. I believe the advantages are far more, and you believe the advantages are far more. So this is how the while sentence is written. There's no however, there's no but, there's no other words in the while sentence. There are no other words. Okay, now let's do the despite sentence and the conclusion. Okay, let's do the same thing with conclusion, but I want this part to be different. Can anyone do this part? Like pick another part. Like The advantages are far more significant, or the advantages clearly outweigh, or the advantages certainly have an edge over the disadvantages. So pick any of these. Don't repeat the far more one. ये वाला repeat मत करना. Pick the first one or the second one, and you can use the word although instead of while. So
Although there
Yeah.
are,
Okay.
sir, यहाँ पे
Wait.
यहाँ
I
पे although there are few drawbacks.
just hold on 1 second. So she recommended, like, we can use I would like to reiterate that although there are certain drawbacks. Okay, now go ahead.
सर यहाँ पे हम ये भी यूज कर सकते हैं. There are a few drawbacks.
Yeah,
ठीक है
but
मैंने
there are a few drawbacks. A certain
Yes, sir.
in ki jagah you can use the word a few. Yes. Of what topic? What is?
Yes, sir. Topic was learning.
Can you change it? Let's see your paraphrasing.
Okay. टॉपिक ऊपर चला गया थोड़ा.
You know the topic. You don't need the topic. Think. क्या टॉपिक है? स्टूडेंट्स कहाँ पे सीख रहे हैं?
प्राइमरी स्कूल में.
हाँ, कौन सिखाता है?
टीचर्स.
या schools, ठीक है?
स्कूल्स में.
ठीक है, schools भी teachers भी, all right? So can I say schools teaching a foreign language?
School teaching a foreign language.
कहाँ कब? In? Can I say that?
Yes, sir.
There are a few drawbacks of schools teaching a foreign language in primary classes. Okay.
The advantages outweigh.
Outweigh. Okay. Outweigh
the disadvantage.
Outweigh the disadvantages. Okay. That advantages, definitely, you can use the word definitely.
Definitely.
Outweigh the disadvantages. Okay, so this is the conclusion written. Anyone has a problem here, please let me know.
No, sir.
No? Good. So we are done with the introduction. We are done with the conclusion. Now we are going to come to the despite statement. I don't think students have a problem with admittedly. They are able to do that, but let's try the despite statement. So I'll show you again once how I've done it. Despite the drawbacks mentioned above, we did the despite thing. No, we didn't do it, right? Despite the drawbacks mentioned above, I believe you write the topic here and is certainly beneficial for them. I wrote it at the wrong place. So I believe the topic is certainly beneficial for them. This is how we write it. Okay, let me just copy paste this here. Okay. So would anyone do it, the despite statement? Anyone? I know Sapna is doing it. I want others to participate as well. So would someone else would like to do the despite one? Try. It's not hard. And I'm here. I'll teach you. So just offer. Just start. Should I show it again? Let me show it again so that you get some confidence. Okay. So first,
Despite above mentioned.
okay, you're going to write. Go.
Despite above mentioned drawbacks of
Opposite. First, write the despite the drawbacks mentioned above.
despite drawbacks mentioned above,
Okay.
comma, I believe that
Mhm. Yeah.
learning foreign language in primary school
Yeah.
certainly beneficial.
Very good. Okay. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Okay, good. So this is your this thing. Now if we complete the essay, now remember, after writing the introduction, what are you going to do in the middle? You're going to put admittedly, and then you're going to say there are certain downsides or drawbacks or certain um, issues of learning. There are certain issues of learning. Issues is not suiting that well. Let's certain disadvantages only. That's not of, um, trying to learn a new language or a foreign language at primary school. That's it. And then you're going to give your downsides one by one to begin with and in addition. So this is your first body paragraph. After you're done with the first body paragraph, you're going to use the despite statement to come to the next one. Okay. And then you're going to give 3 points. Firstly, in the first paragraph, like of that, and then in addition, furthermore, or finally, like that, in the next body paragraph. And then you're just going to write your conclusion like we practiced. That's your whole essay. There's nothing else in this whole essay. So does anyone have any doubts now regarding this essay type?
Sir, in any para, if we are starting the second point of our essay, before that we just want to keep that as uh, you said a connector na in
Admittedly.
the while you take no, not admittedly, apart from the
Yeah, apart from
something
this.
complex, something
Apart from
like
this one?
yes, sir. Apart
Apart
from
So that's another synonym for in addition. Yeah, apart from this. You're right.
okay, sir.
That's it, simple. And then you give your point. Apart from this, it means besides that, means in addition to this point, there's another point, there's another drawback. Apart from this, like students like learning through translation is not possible in primary school as students have not completely mastered their mother tongue. So they might take more time. So you can write, they might take more time to learn the language. So that's it. So, I had a class which couldn't speak any word of English. They knew only like at least a little bit. And they did not know Hindi as well. Nothing. Not one word of English, not one word of Hindi or Punjabi. So now imagine how I taught. I had to teach using pictures and diagrams and photographs. It slowed down my learning so much. Like in Mana, I used to teach like so little. I remember. I used to bring photographs even for small concepts because that was the only thing that we could connect to. Like, I couldn't speak their language, they couldn't speak my language. So it became so difficult. So this is the problem I'm talking about here. At least right now all of you can speak a little bit of English, and you also know Punjabi or Hindi. If I can't explain in English, I can explain in Punjabi and Hindi. That was not possible then. They spoke French. Okay. So, any other point here? Any other questions here, or are we moving forward?
सर कहते कि जो 100 वर्ड्स है वो आईडीपी की तरफ से बैन हुआ है, इज इट ट्रू?
No, nothing like this.
कहते कि हम 100 वर्ड्स अब नहीं राइटिंग टास्क में यूज कर सकते।
नहीं, who said that?
सर मैंने आईडीपी की वहां एक वेबसाइट में पढ़ा था एंड वहां पे लिखा था कि 100 एक और वर्ड मतलब कनेक्टर था जो उनकी तरफ से स्टॉप किया गया यूजिंग।
Okay, we'll do this like this here. See, if I'll give you a simple solution. Whenever you read things, right, just check it. Now I'll come here. So if a word banned by IDP, I'm just asking by chat through ChatGPT. I don't think it can be banned. It's a part of English.
Okay, sir.
Okay, but just to answer, see what did it say? No, the word so is
Acceptable.
acceptable. It's not banned. It's not banned by IDP. How can
Thank
they
you,
ban
sir.
a word? ठीक है, they are saying overuse might impact your score. अगर आप
Yeah.
सारे ऐसे में 10 बार सो लिख दोगे तो कम इम्पैक्ट आएगा, वो तो आएगा ही आएगा. If you're
जी, sir.
repeating something 10 times, it has so many other words that you can use. Hence is a word. Okay, you can use it. Hence I was late. I missed the bus. इसलिए मैं late था. As a result, I was late. So you have so many other options. It's not banned though. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
It's banned. Okay. Anyone else has any doubts?
सर जो जो इंट्रोडक्शन लिखा था सर
Yes.
ऊपर जाएं उसमें शायद ऊपर ये सर
Yes. This one?
सर yes sir, it is believed by some it is more beneficial for children आएगा या खाली सर चिल्ड्रन तो से नहीं होगा ना
Yeah, I missed the for one. Okay.
yes
Done.
okay sir.
I agree. That is a typing error. It's called a type.
yes sir.
Okay. Done. Okay. Any other doubts? Anyone?
So can you repeat about the from first step to conclusion because I was joined late.
Conclusion is just the repetition of your opinion using the while statement.
I
Or
said
although
that. Can you repeat from first step to
I would like to
step?
read that although there are a few drawbacks or few disadvantages of topic, disadvantages you're writing the topic here, and then you repeat the advantages definitely outweigh the whatever the disadvantages. The disadvantages certainly outweigh the disadvantages, or the advantages certainly have an edge over the disadvantages, like that. So it's the repetition of the thing that you wrote in the introduction. You're not writing any new concept here. Okay.
But actually, I'm asking. What?
Sir,
Yeah.
I have a doubt, sir. Sir,
Yeah.
Sir, if we are like given advantage, disadvantage, or else agreeing and disagreeing essay or any other essay or task type, sir. So
Yeah.
the structure of the essay will generally be like introduction, and then in body paragraph 1 we have to write about the advantages or agreeing to the
No.
points.
No. Why did you say advantages? What do I write in the first body paragraph? Tell me. What did I write in here? I taught you a structure. What do I write in the first body paragraph?
Our own opinion about the
The
advantages.
first body paragraph. What do I write?
Sir, we can write if we have a limited
No. I'm asking in this essay, what did I write in the first body paragraph?
drawback.
Okay.
What did I write actually? Drawback is what? What did I teach you? The pattern I taught you, what did I write? The less side. The less side. I
Yes,
taught
sir.
you with the less side. If advantages were less, I was going to write advantages first. If disadvantages were less, I'm going to write disadvantages first. Okay, so if I come to a problem solution essay, it's going to be completely different. In the problem solution essay, they ask me the reasons and solutions. How can I write advantages and disadvantages? In that essay, I'm going to write the reasons first and then the solutions. So every essay has a different approach. I cannot tell you one size fits all approach. I cannot tell you one approach that will fit for all essays. Every essay is different. It's according to the essay. In this essay, I don't write disadvantages first. I write the less side first. Please remember this. Otherwise, admittedly won't make sense. Despite won't make sense. And your essay will be completely finished. It will stop making sense. So always write the less side first. That's my goal here. Okay. Does that answer your question, Pratiksha? For the other essays, I have to come to those and I'll teach the approach then and there. See, there are 6 essay types. Let me cover them one by one. You'll learn for every essay type what to do. First body paragraph, what to do in that essay, in the next essay, in the next essay, in the next essay, like that. Is that okay? Now, Rajesh, I couldn't complete. I'm sorry, I interrupted you in the middle. Can you ask your question again?
Actually, sir, I am asking about essay. What the initially step 1, 2, 3, 4 because I joined
Okay,
late.
I'll show you that. So the structure, right? So the structure is this. Let's all revise it really quickly. So first we write the introduction. We paraphrase the topic. We don't write any beginning statement before that. We directly come to the topic. We don't have the time for other sentences in an IELTS essay. If I was writing some other essay, I would have written some general line. In an IELTS essay, we don't have the time. So we're directly coming to the topic. After coming to the topic, we are going to do the brainstorming part. That is, we are going to think about our points, whether the advantages are more or disadvantages are more. After thinking, after making an opinion, we are going to write our opinion in the introduction second sentence using while and although. So basically what I told you here is you're going to write two sentences in the introduction. The first sentence is the topic, which you're repeating, paraphrasing and repeating. And the second sentence is your own opinion using the while and although. Now let's come to the second paragraph or the first body paragraph. In this, you're writing the weaker side. In this case, it was the disadvantages, as my advantages are more. My advantages are going to be more, so my weaker side is disadvantages. I start by using the word admittedly, and I write the two downsides. Then I write the two downsides using the connectors to begin with and apart from this. That's what I'm going to do here in the first body paragraph. Then I come to the second body paragraph, which is the main side or the stronger side. In this case, I'm going to use the despite word, the despite connector, and write my points. Give that and write the main side firstly, and then in addition, furthermore, and 3 points in 2 body paragraphs. I go for a 3 body paragraph approach here, so I'm teaching you that approach. I already told you the 2 body paragraph approach is all right. I prefer the third one, so I'm teaching the 3 one. If you're comfortable with the 2 one, go ahead and do that. I just feel this is more easier for students. This is easier for students, so I teach this. After covering the 3 body paragraph, we are going to come to a conclusion in which we just restate our opinion using while and although again. There is nothing else in this essay. Advantage and disadvantage essay is all about this. There's nothing else remaining here. Now, Rajesh, does that cover your doubt?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Anyone else? Any doubts here?
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
सर जैसे उन्होंने मतलब प्राइमरी स्कूल में सीखना चाहिए या सेकेंडरी में लिखा तो सेकेंडरी का हमने कुछ भी नहीं बोलना उस ऐसे में फिर
See, what is the topic? Okay, let's read the topic. Why am I not talking about secondary? Let's read the topic. That'll give you clarity. Okay. A very good doubt though. So let's read this question because I would have this doubt. If I was a student, I would have asked this question too. So some people think it is better for children to begin to learn a foreign language at a primary school than at secondary school. Okay, so some people are thinking what? It is better कि students कब सीखें? Primary किसकी जगह पे? Secondary की जगह पे, ठीक है? Now the question is, do the advantages of this trend? अब इस ट्रेंड को अगर शॉर्ट में लिखना हो, अमर, तो क्या ट्रेंड है ये कि कब सीखें वो?
प्राइमरी स्कूल में
तो फिर क्वेश्चन में तो सेकेंडरी है ही नहीं. द क्वेश्चन इज दिस पार्ट, राइट? ये तो एक स्टेटमेंट ही है. तो ये वाले पार्ट में जहां पे मेरे से क्वेश्चन पूछा है वहां पे नहीं है. अगर यहाँ पे इस ट्रेंड की जगह होता, यहाँ पे होता ऑफ लर्निंग एट सेकेंडरी स्कूल, तो मैं सेकेंडरी स्कूल का करके बताता. पर क्वेश्चन में यहाँ पे पूछा था ऑफ दिस ट्रेंड, जिसका मैंने ये मतलब लिया कि प्राइमरी स्कूल में सीखना, क्योंकि क्वेश्चन ऐसे लिखा था कि प्राइमरी स्कूल में सीखे, किसकी जगह पे? सेकेंडरी स्कूल. That is why I answered according to primary school and not secondary school. So does that answer your question?
yes sir thank you
You're welcome. Okay. Any other questions, anyone? See, remember, everyone remember, ये बस एक statement है. Actual question is this. ये बताता है तुमने किसके फायदे लिखने, किसके डिसएडवांटेजेस लिखने. अगर कभी भी कंफ्यूज हो रहे हो ना, रीड दिस पार्ट. इट विल क्लैरिफाई, स्पेशली अगर क्वेश्चन में 2 चीजें हो. जैसे इस क्वेश्चन में प्राइमरी स्कूल भी था, सेकेंडरी स्कूल भी था, तो यहां से पढ़ के समझ में आता है वो किस चीज के पूछ रहे हैं. सो ऑलवेज रीड द एडवांटेजेस एंड डिसएडवांटेजेस लाइन. दैट मेक्स इट क्लियर what are they asking actually, किस चीज के फायदे. Okay, on Nuksan. Okay. Any other doubts or is it clear?
sir
Clear? Okay. So I have picked up a homework for you. So you're going to attempt them. I thought, okay, so I'll actually tell you what I planned for the class. I thought I'll teach one essay type, then I'll give students one homework, they'll write, and then we'll start with that'll give you a proper break also because you're listening or paying attention to the screen for a long time. Ma'am will check by the time I come to the next essay type, and then we'll move forward from there. That's what I planned. So this is the essay that you are going to address. This is your essay. In some countries, students must pay their own college or university fees, while in others government pay. अब देखो यहाँ पे भी दो है क्वेश्चन में, यहाँ पे स्टेटमेंट में कि कुछ जगह स्टूडेंट्स पे करते हैं और कुछ जगह में कौन पे करता है? गवर्नमेंट। अब फायदे किसके पूछे बताओ? फायदे नुकसान किसके पूछे?
गवर्नमेंट के।
Government के. The advantages and disadvantages are asked for the government paying. Are you clear here?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Do the advantages of using government money for college and university fees outweigh the disadvantages? Here, if it was students paying, I would have written the advantages and disadvantages of students paying. But the question is about government paying, so we'll answer that. We'll not talk about students paying. So let's just brainstorm the ideas and then I'll let you go and then I'll wait for half an hour. You'll send me the tasks. This part, you'll write the whole structure. You don't need to expand your points, but I want the whole structure written. And you're going to individually message it to ma'am. You all have ma'am's number. She will check it. Even if you're an offline student, you're an online student. I'll post the number here. If you don't have, just WhatsApp it to ma'am and she'll check. And after half an hour, we'll begin with the next session. That's the plan. So 5 o'clock, we'll begin with the next session. We'll cover the second essay also today. That's the plan. Okay, so just brainstorm the ideas with me and I'll let you go. Tell me. Students paying their own college or university fees. What are our government paying the fees? What are the advantages and disadvantages? Tell me.
सर अगर गवर्नमेंट पे करती है तो स्टूडेंट पे लेस बर्डन होगा,
तो
अपनी जो है फी पे करने का वो दूसरी चीज़ जैसे कि अपनी दूसरी चीज़ों पे खर्च कर सकते हैं, जैसे अपनी एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर एक्टिविटीज़ हो गई, अपने स्पोर्ट्स हो गए
हाँ
एंड इस चीज़ों
हाँ
पे वो
हाँ, पर पता है क्या है, अपना इतना स्ट्रांग नहीं है। ऐसे तो बोलो मेरा टीवी भी ले दो, गवर्नमेंट ले देती है। मेरे पास ज्यादा पैसे होंगे और चीजों के लिए। ठीक
एक्चुअली सर ये है ना, ये
है।
फाइनेंशियल होगी जिसमें ये होगा कि उस पर बर्डन नहीं होगा फीस देने के
You
लिए।
are you are thinking in the right direction. Think from both Sapna and Rajesh. Think from poor
सर
students.
सर अगर गवर्नमेंट पे करेगी तो स्टूडेंट एनकरेज होंगे ज्यादा पढ़ने के लिए।
हाँ, और कौन से बैकग्राउंड वाले स्टूडेंट्स पढ़ पाएंगे जो नहीं पढ़ पाते आजकल?
यस
पुअर
सर।
पुअर
वो
पुअर से पढ़
बैकग्राउंड,
पाएंगे।
स्टार्ट
हाँ
विद द स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट पॉइंट ना। आजकल बहुत स्टूडेंट्स हैं जो पुअर बैकग्राउंड से आते हैं और वो नहीं कर, यहाँ मिडिल क्लास बैकग्राउंड से आते हैं जो आगे अपनी एजुकेशन कंटिन्यू नहीं कर पाते कॉलेज बिकॉज दे कांट अफोर्ड द कॉलेज फीस। सो
यस
इफ तो दे वुड ऑल्सो गेट हायर एजुकेशन। ठीक है। यस एंड अगर होंगे तो मोर और बताओ। you're thinking in the right direction. रौनक, you're also thinking in the right direction. अगर एक कंट्री में ज्यादा कॉलेज वाले पढ़े लिखे बच्चे होंगे तो क्या फायदा होगा ये बताओ। अब सोचो, गवर्नमेंट पे
Poverty
इकोनॉमिकली
reduce हो
हमारी
जाए।
कंट्री
सर
ग्रो
पैसा
करेगी।
ज्यादा होगा हमारी कंट्री में, जॉब्स ज्यादा होगी, इकोनॉमी ग्रो करेगी।
Yes, all that because more professional means it's better for the economy of the country. क्योंकि वो ज़्यादा हाई पेइंग एंड हाई एंड जॉब्स करेंगे तो ज़्यादा अच्छी कंट्री की इकोनॉमी ग्रो करेगी। सो कंट्री की डेवलपमेंट के लिए भी अच्छा है। इफ देयर आर मोर कॉलेज एजुकेटेड प्रोफेशनल्स इन द कंट्री, इट्स ऑल्सो गुड फॉर द कंट्री। अगर ज़्यादा कॉलेज गोइंग लोग हैं तो वो अच्छा है। तो तुम्हारा सेकेंड पॉइंट ये हो सकता है डेफिनेटली। सो इकोनॉमी के लिए अच्छा, बिकॉज इफ देयर आर मोर कॉलेज एजुकेटेड प्रोफेशनल्स इन द country, that means economy will be better. We can explain this point as well. One more point, advantage if you can think of. If you can't, don't go with the disadvantages also. Anyone government paying? Okay, we can come back to the advantages if you want to write advantages or more. But can someone tell me the disadvantages of government paying?
More burden for the government.
Yes, and how does it harm? Again, I want to. What's the problem with that?
गवर्नमेंट दूसरी चीज़ों पे
Very
स्पेंड
good.
भी
नहीं,
कर सकती
government
है।
can, very good, Sapna. So the government doesn't have enough funds to spend on other important areas. Can you give me some examples? Where does government need to spend on?
health sector.
Recently, nowadays, we have major problem in Punjab. There is a flood. They
Flood.
can
Yeah, but other important. Okay, flood is a one-time situation. Other problems, Sapna?
other say okay.
Healthcare. Yes. What
Uh,
else?
Country faces any disaster like is a natural or
Yeah.
man-made.
टेक्नोलॉजी पे नहीं कर सकती
Yes, but what is another area where the government needs to spend a lot of money? कौन सा area? क्या बनाती है government? सड़कें वगैरह. What do we call that?
roads,
What do we?
agriculture.
What's a better word for? What's a better word for all that? Roads, railways. What's one word for that describes everything?
Infrastructure.
ट्रांसपोर्टेशन से
No.
Infrastructure.
इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर
So government has less funds for infrastructure and healthcare. Other important areas like infrastructure, law and order. You can write like this. Okay, disasters, I get the point, but you cannot directly compare it with education, right? Disasters is a one-time expenditure. वो रोज का
Yes, sir.
खर्चा थोड़ी है. तो वो
जी
इतना
जी
अच्छा नहीं लग रहा, right? पर infrastructure तो रोज बनानी है, वो तो रोज बनानी है. Roads, healthcare, law and order, police, etc., judges. So government will have less funds. Very good. And college education is costly, right? It's difficult. Okay, what else? What else is the drawback of this? Government pay.
Government pay, they are not more responsible. Just like as German government pay the fees of the universities student, and the student are more lazy.
Very good. So you want to say non-serious candidates also come in?
Yes, sir.
And इससे क्या impact होता है? I would say it impacts the quality of
Quality.
education.
सर इससे ये इम्पैक्ट होता है जो फिर सीएस स्टूडेंट होता है
वही लेता है ना अगर वो
अपॉर्चुनिटी
कर रहा है only if
यस
the student is paying, then only serious candidates go. If they're really interested in learning, they'll go. If the colleges are, if the government is paying non-serious candidates also go. And if the
Yes, sir.
quality of education be impact hoti hai, like there are students, the teachers are less, students are more. So quality of education also gets impacted. So we can say this also. Non-serious candidates also go for education because they don't lose anything if they drop out or if they stop their education. Even if they don't learn, they don't lose out on anything, right? Because the government is paying the bill. So that's a problem. Yes. Okay, now I want to write. What do you want to write more? पहले ये सोचो. Advantages ज़्यादा लिखने हैं तो advantages सोच लेना एक और. हाँ, yeah. Somebody else was saying something.
Sir, I was said that corruption, misuse of this money for the another sources.
Corruption.
Corruption.
Yeah, it can happen. Corruption is a problem anywhere where the government spends money. I agree with that, but it's not. It's corruption सब में होता है ना. यहाँ पे भी नहीं, यहाँ पे भी होगा तो. It's not a point specific to education. सिर्फ education में government spend करने से नहीं होगा. So think of another point. अगर लोग भी पे करते तब भी करप्शन है ना. मतलब देखो वो आई थिंक इंडिया में देयर इज अ कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ कौन सी सीट कहते हैं उसको. देयर इज अ सीट फॉरेन सीट, एनआरआई सीट which has so much high fees. There is corruption everywhere, even without government money. Think
यस
of
सर
think of another point.
यस सर इंडिया में एक फॉरेन सीट होती है सर वो फिर अगर वो नहीं बुक होती तो सर वो दूसरे जो इंडियंस होते हैं वो लेते हैं
हाँ, पर वो हाई पे करके लेते हैं ना, है ना.
हाई पे के लेकर करते यस सर ट्रू
हाँ, 50 lakhs, 10 lakhs. I've heard about it. Okay, so can you give me one more point of advantages? You said poor students also जो नहीं कर पाते उनको भी मिलता है. Okay, फिर more professionals होंगे, college educated professionals होंगे, which will be better for the economy of the country because they will do better jobs, they will do high paid jobs, and they will in turn they will pay more taxes, which will be beneficial for the economy, right? Like that. ठीक है. लोगों ने बोला था R&D also, research and development is also more if there are more college educated people. Yes, there is more research and education also, research also. Any other point? Government paying or drawback or advantage? Let me just check what I thought of before. We'll go with your point. So reduces financial stress on families and improves their quality of life. We'll go with the point that Sapna mentioned. So we'll say reduces financial stress on families, and they have more money for other things, so they improves their quality of life because they can spend more money, right? So they can spend more money on quality of life. Like they can spend more on, other things. So it improves the quality of life for families. So we can have this point. So 3 advantages, 2 drawbacks. Does that make sense? Are we good with the points?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll write that infrastructure in healthcare, law and order, government has less money for that, so it impacts those areas. Non-serious candidates also join who are not many dropout also increases. Dropout rates are also more in countries which have government paying because students are not that serious. And this also impacts the quality of education because more students join. So teachers तो उतने ही रहते हैं, student to teacher ratio खराब हो जाता है. So one teacher is teaching 10 students, one teacher is teaching 50 students. It will definitely impact the quality of education as well. Then
Yes.
advantages poor students, like, so it equals like it levels the playing field. It gives equal opportunities to students from both poor and rich backgrounds. So it levels the playing field. Playing field को दोनों के लिए बराबर कर देता है. नहीं तो पुअर स्टूडेंट्स के लिए बहुत मुश्किल है कॉलेज एजुकेशन लाना. उनको लोन्स लेने पड़ते हैं, उनके लिए यहाँ स्कॉलरशिप्स के लिए एक्स्ट्रा मेहनत करनी पड़ती है जो रिच स्टूडेंट्स को करनी नहीं पड़ती. तो एक लेवल प्लेइंग फील्ड नहीं है अभी. लेवल, if the government pays, it levels the playing field. And then economy के लिए अच्छा है because more people will do high-end jobs, more professionals, more taxes to the government, so better for the economy of the country. And finally, reduces financial stress on families and improves their quality of life. So these are the points. Now, what I want you to do, I told you earlier also, you're going to do this right now. You're going to send it to ma'am. Okay, paraphrase. Do the introduction, do the body paragraphs. You're not explaining the points, you're not writing the points. Apart from the points, you're writing everything from the beginning to the end. So send that. All of you who can send, please send it till
May I
5.
say something? This is what I call the skeleton. I use that word. The
Yeah.
skeleton of the essay. Okay? Yeah.
So write the skeleton and send it to ma'am. We'll have all of you, are you okay with the next session at 5 o'clock?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll have the next essay at 5 o'clock. Till then, you can send it to ma'am. Okay, so that's it for now. Yeah, equal opportunities for all students. Okay, we'll end it here. Send this task. Let me just copy paste the task and give it to you so that I'll copy paste in the this in the WhatsApp group. Please send it to ma'am. Okay. Next essay type, Shakir, I cannot cover agree, disagree. It would take one that has many different concepts.
So, sir, the
I'll cover it the next time. That essay has to be covered alone. That takes a lot of time. Okay, I'll cover it. I'm not saying I'll not cover it. I'll cover it, but that would take much more time. Okay. So I've copy pasted the question. You're supposed to write it and send it to ma'am, and I'm ending the class here. And see you for the next class at 5 o'clock.